This is 955 days. 955 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. He didn't just vanish. A lot of things have happened, and inch by inch, we have uncovered a lot of lies. And I have even been called names for wanting to search for my son. Um, and I asked people what would they do if their child went missing, if and if they couldn't get answers, if they not only couldn't get answers, but they information was withheld from them. We have a right to look for our son. Okay, he is absolutely at this point presumed dead, and we have even a uh, a stronger case because we have the on record testimony, on video record testimony of the um, father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM, which is Richard's command, saying that he's with the FBI, so then the FBI are involved in this, and that the FBI have um, found Richard's remains in Juarez, Mexico. And then we have on record that the Department of State, our contact there, right there in Juarez, Mexico, confirmed that indeed the FBI were in Juarez, Mexico, looking for Richard's remains. So we have a very strong case, evidence that suggests that Richards is presumed dead. Okay, and what does this do? This should get us, um, because he is still yellow Interpol, which means a missing person. Um, we still have the right to look for him. And so it is a really difficult case because it's on the border. It's a border case. And so, um, yeah, and also because there's human trafficking act in question, there is child sex trafficking in question, there's child sex porn production in question, there's child sex porn production with the military involved in question, um, and the sale of it and the broadcasting of it, the um, when they drop it, airdrop it onto phones, that's all part of this. And I'm calling out porn altogether. Why are we having sex cults and porn being broadcast on our military installations? And the answer that I get is this has been going on for a long time. Well, maybe that's why we are losing all of these wars. Maybe that's why we are losing our soldiers. Maybe that's why there's so much crime. Maybe that's why there's so much rape. Maybe that's why there's so much sexual harassment. Maybe that's why there's so much suicide. Maybe that's why there's so much mental health illness that our volunteer sons and daughters have to go to mental health and then be put on these very dangerous drugs that are very hard. They're not, people think, oh, what do you mean they're dangerous? They're very hard to get off once you get on them. You don't want to go on. You don't want to have mental health issues where you have to take mental health medications. You want to be healthy. You want our young people to be healthy, right? You don't want a whole generation of people so stressed, so retaliated against, so groomed, so sexually assaulted, so mentally tortured that they have to be on mental health medication, right? Right? Am I saying something wrong? Especially those that are in our military. We want healthy individuals behind our weapons, behind our stealth bombers, behind our submarines, behind our tanks, behind our Patriot missiles, and etc. and etc. We don't want our military behind these very powerful weapons with mental health issues. And so maybe this porn being broadcast and the sex cults being, let to flourish. I mean, they're being fed into the military. The, you know, every one of those 44 four-star generals and admirals know that they get these servers and they broadcast porn across those servers. And where is this porn coming from? Is it being produced and sold right there in the military? Is it involving military members? Because we know that the whole sex cult industry is flourishing, and it really flourished during 2020, during 2021. And the way we are paying our service members, that they always have to find some way, somehow, to make extra money, and then they're not getting that character buildup that they want. They're so excited when they come in. They're so excited. They want to belong to something greater than who they are, than where they're coming from. They want to serve our country. They want to defend our Constitution. And they're coming in, and I know there's always exceptions, but for the most part, I've been watching a lot of videos, and they're so excited to come in. And every one of these young people have potentialities. Everyone, and our military is very young. You're talking about most of them are 35 years and younger. So these are individuals that have potentialities that only God knows, and it is the duty of our leadership to watch and assess and measure. That's why they take these tests and things like that, to see where these potentialities are, and then make the most out of them. Make the most out of them and make a fighting force, a strong force, a peacekeeping force. And when you have a strong force, it's a peacekeeping force, right? So it's peace by strength, right? So absolutely, we have given the tools to our military to have enough leaders to assess the potentialities of everyone that joins, to reduce the crime and to increase the esprit de corps and the Medal of Honor ethos and all of the military creed, the NCO creed, and on and on and on. They have all of these: leadership, loyalty, duty, selfless service, respect, honor, integrity, personal courage, selfless service. Did I say that one? Selfless service. They have all of this narratives. They have all of the words out there, except for they have none of the fruit of it. Their fruit is rapes, sexual harassment, cutting off people's heads, chopping up people, burning people, broadcasting porn, producing porn, having the barracks as a marketplace for illegal drugs. And I'm not saying this like I'm a crazy person. We have soldiers, we have Marines even getting caught for human trafficking. Okay, we have soldiers getting caught conducting a marketplace for illegal drugs inside our installations and our barracks. We have caught rapists. Okay, we have many rape victims. We know we have many on mental health medication because they've been so severely psychologically operated on, and operated means with psyops, and retaliated against and manipulated and twisted and everything. You see them, they're shaking. Even Command Sergeant Major Jakovitz was just a shaking mess, and he had a lot of psychological operations done on him. And so did we witnessed this with our own eyes, with General, 1-star General, Brigadier General David Stewart. He was such a nice guy when we first met him, but they twisted him through this. They twisted him. He went to the wrong place with after he got his 1-star. And they send these generals to charm school, and I don't know if he hadn't been through the whole training of how to be a demon general yet, when we first met him. So anyway, it is, and I know I sound so harsh and I sound so negative, and really I'm being very, very nice. I'm being very, very nice, because we're talking about the injury done to our volunteer sons and daughters, the injury done to our Constitution, the injury done to our government, the injury done to the land and the people, the injury done to the rest of the world. For these 44 4-star generals, we have 44 of them. We've given them everything, everything, and they haven't been able to deliver a honorable fighting force that has victories, that's able to have victories. If this happened in any sports, every one of these 44 4-star generals would be fired. They would be investigated, they would be audited, and they would be fired, especially because the Pentagon has failed its audits and there are trillions of dollars missing. Trillions, not millions, not billions, trillions. And trillions is not 100 million. Trillions is not 300 million. Trillions is not 900 million. Trillions is not a billion. Trillions is not 20 billion or 500 billion or 700 billion or 900 billion. A trillion is a lot of money, a lot of money. And it's missing. It's missing. Unaccounted for. Sweet deal when you don't get in trouble for missing trillion of dollars. And no wonder then it doesn't matter if there's a missing soldier. So the very first CONUS, that's one missing soldier. And I'm not just talking about Richard. I'm talking about Gregory Morales. I'm talking about Vanessa Guillen. I'm talking about all of these soldiers that were missing, that were dismissed, that were thrown out, dismissed, forgotten, until 2020 came along and Vanessa Guillen's body was found, until LULAC came in with Vanessa Guillen's family and showed them great support and rallied. That and the CID made some good decisions, like they brought in Texas EquiSearch. They did not do that for us because Texas EquiSearch did a great deed finding the Pelican case. And so they were absolutely wonderful in that. So we have to give praise. But the CID didn't want that because it's that Pelican case that showed the area where Vanessa Guillen's body could be. And it was that the God and bringing those wild animals around to dig around that area, because they have a great sense of smell, that brought in people that were working in that area, and they thought, what's the animals doing? And oh yeah, didn't they find the Pelican case for Vanessa Guillen? Isn't Vanessa Guillen missing? So it was many different factors that came together, God's grace, that found Vanessa Guillen's body, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And of course, finding Gregory Morales' body too was a great, there are just so many things going on. But I want to talk about the lies, the absolute lies, and the twisting and the turning. I don't know how else to put it, because they know the law very well. They have legal counsel with them all the time. Whereas people that want a recourse have a hard time finding a recourse. They have a hard time finding that legal help. And you're talking about very powerful. They're very powerful, but they don't have dominion. And that's why Vanessa was found. And that's why we discovered who the father in law was when we only thought, oh, he's some man coming into Dollar General. But he wasn't just some man. And we found out who he was by the grace of God. And the same thing with the military police guard mount. Anthony Swafford was not trying to help us at all. He was not trying to help us. He wasn't this man of courage, this soldier of courage. He wasn't. He's a father. He is just as afraid, just like anyone else. But he was one of those MPs that the guard mount leadership was talking to, smearing Richard. And he had been convinced that Richard is not worth looking for. And so he was trying to do his duty, which is not his duty, because if there's a missing soldier, there's no stopping anyone from trying to find the missing soldier. But he didn't think that way. His training was off base. His training comes from 44 four-star generals and admirals that are serving foreign and domestic enemies, not defending the country, and therefore they have failed in getting a handle on making us have a beautiful, honorable, victorious fighting force of a military. And so Anthony Swafford, being under these treasonous crimes against humanity, up to no good 44 four-star generals, and having that kind of training, decided, yeah, thank you, the bell tolls, that he would go to social media, his little social group there at Fort Bliss Housing, and try to persuade those that that wanted to help pass out flyers. He was like, don't help them. Don't help them. And I'm like, wow, so if his children were missing, he would want someone to come in there and say, don't help find your kid. And yeah, that was pretty wicked. That was pretty cold-blooded, and I don't think he meant to. I think he's he loves his children. And I don't think he meant to do that. I don't think he even knew what he was doing. It was a psyop. See, he was hypnotized by the very, very bad training that our soldiers, that our MPs are getting. And, and they have these 44 four-star generals, and including representatives. They have a lot of lawyers around them. And they twist and turn the law. They twist and turn it. And they do it for, there's no equal law. That's for sure. And they twist and turn it, and we saw those lies because, a false witness is the twisting and turning, manipulation. It's like a witchery, It's like trying to cast a spell. You take what you have there, the truth, and you twist it and turn it into something else that's not the truth any longer. And so that's, you saw that with the canine dog issue that we had when, we thought we had gone there for the canine meeting, to the findings of that. And we weren't happy with the findings of it. But months later, we found out that El Paso doesn't have too many human remains sniffing dogs. And so we were like, wow, which dog did they use? So we contacted them. Hey, which dog did you use? Where did you get this human remains sniffing dog? What was the handler's name? Then we would know what kind of training this dog got. And so they skirted that. They twisted and turned that, and we still don't have an answer. What is the dog's name? What's the canine's name? What kind of training did that canine get? who's the handler, and you know, they don't want it. So that is like the sabotaging, um, the poisoning, and they're all about the poisoning, the crimes against humanity. And so these are all lies. And I want to play you something, and I think it's on Twitter. I put it on Twitter. Let me see if I can bring that up, because I think that that is really important. You can find us on Twitter. That's what you can find us on Telegram. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on, uh, I think, BitChute, and you can find us on Odyssey and Facebook and YouTube. And we're just putting wherever we can. And of course, we're working on some other platforms, um, because once this truth gets out to a certain number, then the powers that be like to block you, like to, but that's oh, you know, there is always a door. There's always a door, and you just have to um, find a way to get the truth out there, because they are the children of lies. They are, yeah. So it's hard to believe, but absolutely. Um, that's what's going on. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's very good too. So I have a few things here that, yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find it right here. Um, and I don't know if you're going to be able to read this, but you can go on. Um, but you
We've
can
got a long
listen
way to
to
go
him.
to sort this.
Now, this is something that is super, super important, because we knew by the time we got to Fort Bliss, because my husband is a physician assistant, a retired physician assistant. And we knew when we saw, because when 2020 happened, well, December 2019 and going on, we were right following it right from the beginning, and going to certain doctors, listening to what they had to say and everything. And we saw with our own eyes, the twisting and the turning, the lies, the censorship, the twisting and turning what people said to the vast public, and the lack of having roundtables to discuss truly what was going on at the time. And that same standard operating procedure was going on in the case for our son, like the twisting and turning, the censorship of Task Force Find Richard Halliday. You see, without an op board, they shut down 15 plus agencies. They shut them down. They shut them down. There was no op board. There was no plan. There was no task given out. There was no do backs, no do outs, no after action reports to be given. Um, where are the findings for Task Force Find Richard Halliday? There are none. There are none. They spent taxpayers. This is fraud, waste, and abuse. There's so many crimes, y'all, that you can find in this case. And this is one of them. That there is nothing, no findings for Task Force Find Richard Halliday. And no op-ords, no nothing. And so that was just a stunt. It was just a staged event to sabotage the search for Richard, to placate the parents. That's yours truly. And to make us think that they were actually doing something by impressing us, bringing forth so many of those 15 plus agencies, plus, right, in front of us and introducing us and everything like that. And but what was going on behind the scenes is what we'd like to know, and that would be in Richard's legal papers. And that's why we want Richard's legal file with the legal counsel's name that he had and all of their memos between the two of them. We would like to have all of that, and we should be able to get all of that. But they're stonewalling us because look at what's going on. The same SOP. These people up to no good, they use the same standard operating procedures. Lies, lies, twisting lies. And so this is, we lived in Ireland. Richard, even when he was distinguished honor graduate for his cycle for basic training in AIT, they introduced him as from Longford, Ireland. Hi, everybody from Longford. We miss you. We love you. Thank you for supporting us. So this, our heart is for Ireland. Our heart is there for England. And very bad things happened, just like here. And this is one of them. And this is the UK health minister. And he is on media, so serious. He's so concerned about your health. He's so concerned about our children's health, about the schools. He's so concerned. Oh, he's trying to do his job. You know, they go to charm school and they speak so pretty and they say everything just right with the right grammar and everything like that, but they are demons. They are lying demons, and behind the scenes they manipulate. They're like warlocks and wizards and witches, and behind the scenes they manipulate. And here is the proof. This came out, and I think he's in big trouble. I think he's in big trouble because this is him. I'll let you hear his charm, like Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, his charm, and General McConville, his charm, and they're also General Garrett and his charm, and this all the while behind your back they are trying to sabotage you, and they're attacking you. They're attacking you. They're doing asymmetric warfare tactics. They're doing military operations against you. They are trying to attack you and destroy your life, destroy your livelihoods. That's what they tried to do. This is crimes against humanity. Great Britain, you really need to discuss, put on the table the death penalty. This is so destructive. It's so disgusting. It's so degenerate. It's so evil, and it's all done with a tie and charm and all pretty. And what they have done to us, it's so vicious. And why we let these snakes in when we know they're going to bite us, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been fond of snakes. I really love St. Patrick. He shooed the snakes out of Ireland. He shooed them away. I don't know how he shooed them. Maybe shoe is missing a T at the end. I don't know. But maybe he had a laser in his staff. I don't know. But he got rid of the snakes. And let's listen to him. Sorry.
Eventually, we've got to get that vaccine rolled out to keep people safe.
To prepare ourselves, I mean,
keep
is it
people
likely
safe
that if you're in a tier 4 area now, you're going to be in a tier 4 area until that vaccine is rolled out?
Well, I think that given how much faster this new variant spreads, it is going to be very difficult to keep it under control until we have the vaccine rolled out.
So this was in December of 2020, and all the while behind the scenes, he is texting the manipulation, the destruction of the people that he says he cares for. This man is, well, I'll let the UK decide. I'll let the UK decide. Pray for them. Okay, so I made this TikTok and I made it and I took it off real quick because I get reported and um, so I just wanted to share it everywhere. And yeah, so it has, it's done its job. Maybe if you share it some more, it will do some more, it will do some more. And I think it's a very powerful TikTok. So let's watch it.
Over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared,
no FBI.
I am your voice.
No
Today
DOJ.
I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
He's been wronged. We've been wronged. He's been wronged.
Over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared,
I'm playing it again.
I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
I hope so. I hope so, President Trump. And I will definitely, I put on Find Richard Halliday. Please find a way to share this everywhere. It is, when you're over the target, sometimes you get some backlash, but this is really good. So please share this. It's very important. Share this everywhere if you're listening. So that has been very helpful. Okay, so this is another thing that I need to play.
And here's the one thing that nobody saw coming, and this is the competition of states. I don't put companies here in New York anymore, or in Massachusetts, or in New Jersey, or in California. Those states are uninvestable. The policy here is insane. The taxes are too high. We put them in Fargo, North Dakota, because 40% of the people work elsewhere, including Boston. So I was, a bit of a debate with Elizabeth Warren about this, but I say, look, Senator, we've got to move the companies out of your state because you're not investable anymore. You're punishing people if they're successful. You overtax them. You hit them with a super tax. New Jersey, what a mess. New York, uninvestable.
Wait,
California.
why is New York uninvestable?
Try and do a project in New York. Try and build a data.
Yeah, I'm asking, Don's point, is it beyond the taxes?
Oh, the regulatory environment is punitive. I had a project in upstate New York behind the grid in Niagara Falls for electricity, a global data center we were building. Eventually, it got so bad with the politicians in the local region and the state policy, we moved it to Norway and all the jobs. Wow. Norway has it now. Thousands of jobs coming out of that. I mean, that's New York, uninvestable. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger, just telling you the way it is.
Yeah,
that's it, uninvestable.
Some pushback from our...
Yeah. So I think that is what has happened. That is the damage that has happened. It's so bad. Taking away people's livelihoods, opportunities, taking away the opportunity zones. I remember when President Trump created opportunity zones, and when you pinpointed them on the map, and then you pinpointed, overlaid the places where Antifa burnt the cities down, they were the opportunity zones. This was I think, a battle going on in the United States, and someone can answer that. That's just me logically supposing that, because what are the chances of that happening? That the opportunity zones would be the ones that were targeted. I believe they were targeted to be burnt down and destroyed. There are the likes of this UK health minister and the 44 four-star generals and admirals that want us to do no good, that want us to fail, that want us to be hurt, that want us to be victims of rape, of mental health illness, of suicide, of brutal killings. Yeah, because if they did not want that for us, they would absolutely click heels together to make a difference, to make esprit de corps, to follow SOP for the barracks, to get rid of child porn in our installations, to get rid of colonels and their sex cult, puppy dog sex cults, taking pictures in uniform of their erection and broadcasting it out there in public with their doggy mask on, and then other pictures with their friends and all this, their doggy cult, their sex cult, and the human trafficking and the brutal killings of our soldiers. They would handle things much, much different. And if you only knew with this, I hope that you will look at more and more videos of what happened right before we got there to El Paso, or right after we got there to El Paso, where Command Sergeant Major called a meeting for Alpha and Echo Battery. No. Was it Alpha and Delta Battery? Yeah. There at the theater to tell them that they couldn't talk to us. They couldn't talk to us. They couldn't talk to press. Now, if you have a missing soldier, you would want them to talk, right? You'd want to know. It would be transparent. What's going on? Where is he? Right? But because they're up to no good, because they're so criminal, because they're steeped in criminal syndicates, right there on Fort Bliss, they have to cover, intimidate, create sabotage, military operations, asymmetric warfare, crimes upon crimes upon crimes. This is what happens. Crime begats crimes, begats crimes, begats crimes. And people really, really get hurt. And so, especially children. Because do not for an instant think that this has nothing to do with children. Richard made a Child Protective Service complaint, maybe complaints. This has everything to do with children. We know Richard. If this was just about sex, he would not turn them in. If this was about drugs, he would not turn them in. But because he witnessed and received videos of things with children, he was not okay with that. Not that he was okay with the others, but he was not okay with child sex trafficking, child sex porn, child abuse. Not okay. What happens to a soldier who's not okay with child abuse, child sex trafficking, child sex pornography that's being made and sold and distributed into the market of the military? What happens? It's just a question. Just suppose. Does the FBI find their remains in Juarez, Mexico, and keeps it quiet and covers this up with the media and everything? This is so criminal, I can't even tell you. It's beyond our comprehension, and I haven't been to charm school. I haven't been to charm school to learn how to express and get everyone to understand what has happened in this case of Find Richard Halliday. Maybe you can call Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe up and he'll tell you, or General McConville or General Garrett, and he can tell you with their charm school ability and all of their JAG beside them, their legal help always in their ear, how I can say this just right for people to understand the magnitude of the crimes that have been committed just in the search for Richard. And that's not it. That's nothing compared to in the crime of Richard. What happened to him, what they did to him, where he's at. And the crime committed to children, and the crime committed to our volunteer sons and daughters, and all the service members and their families that have been led with hypnosis, led with psychological operations through the media, through the TV, through their leadership, through whatever, to be groomed into this kind of mess, this slavery mess, because they have no recourses, you see. They are held hostage by those who are serving foreign and domestic enemies. And yeah, it's kind of like Patty Duke in some cases, like where people are, don't even realize they're being held a hostage. And if Richard did survive this and is alive somewhere, chances are very, 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 very slim. But if he did, then he needs to be treated, in my opinion, like a released hostage, because that's how bad that situation, what we have uncovered by screenshots, testimonies, GPS. Remember, we have GPS of all the harassment and oh my gosh, the vile, vulgar messages. One I can tell you, one was Santa Clara, and one was South Korea. We have others. What is South Korea doing? Sending us vile, vulgar messages. And so these relays are all on there. We traced them. So we have lots and lots and lots of information, lots and lots and lots documented, lots and lots put on, different servers and things and sent different places so that we have it. Yeah. Can you believe that we've had to do that? Because it is about our son. But if our system is so broken that it has taken courage away from our knights in shining armor, our beautiful volunteer sons and daughters in beautiful uniforms with their ranks and their awards and everything, if these 44 four-star generals have taken the courage out of our service members, because courage, there was a quote from yesterday, I'm not going to take credit for it, but I'm going to use it. Courage is the foundation of all other virtues. And I went, yes. And if they've scared us so bad, if they have tortured us so bad, if they have retaliated severely and continuously so bad, conducted psyops and hypnosis on us, so we have whirly things in our eyes and we can't see straight. We're like the king and from Rohan and the Lord of the Rings, until that spell, that hypnosis is lifted. He couldn't see. He couldn't see at all. He didn't know what was going on. If they have done that to our soldiers, taken away their courage so that they have no other virtues. They have no virtue if they don't have courage. I think that's very, very important. So I'm going to take questions right now. Go on to Facebook here. Hi, James is on. Anicia, thank you. Danielle, thank you for coming on. You're always so faithful. And yeah, so I try to give a little information out every time I come on. And today, I guess South Korea was the big information. Um, and I will give more out. I will give more out because we've heard crickets back. The big one is from a government building. I don't know, Santa Clara, those addresses from Santa Clara, California that were on that phone, it's very interesting where they went through, how they got there, and where it wound up. And that's Intel land, okay? Santa Clara, California is Intel land. It is a very nice, expensive area. So what's going on? And we know that the government has weaponized the FBI. They've weaponized the DOD. They've weaponized the DOJ. They've also partnered with social media, with Google and all of that to be used as weapons against us. And so I'd like to know, is that area one of the main frames, maybe main areas where they do their war battling or their keyboard war battling against those with legitimate questions, like, where's my son? Why did this father-in-law who's with the FBI say the FBI found the remains of our son in Juarez, Mexico, and there's no uproar about it? Why is it that one of these numbers goes to a very, 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 very important government building and there's no uproar? There's nothing. There's no return. Why is it when Senator Ted Cruz asks very legitimate questions, why is there no response, timely response of any value at all? No timely response, no response of any value at all. Matter of fact, she flipped him off, really, literally, she flipped him off. And why is there not any uproar? Because she's 23 ranks lower than he is. He's a sitting senator, voted in, and Richard is his constituent. Why was he flipped off? And why did he let it happen? Why did he let it happen? Where's his courage, right? Where's his courage? Then he has no other virtue, right? I don't know. I think we have a lot of questions that need to be answered. And so thank you for coming on all the time and being so faithful. And I'll come on tomorrow again. And we're doing some things behind the scenes because social media, because of the child porn and because our question that our active duty soldiers being approached from child porn traffickers, are they being approached to sell their children out to these porn producers? Please God, let that not be true. When we got that information, we were just horrified. But this is so, it's so big, y'all. We don't want our children, especially no children, but we're talking about children of active duty soldiers. What in the world is going on that they would be approached? And are some of them even saying yes? I don't know. This is so crazy that not only are our soldiers participating in wild sex cults and grooming our young volunteer sons and daughters into these sex cults, trying to rear them, but now we have our military as a marketplace for child sex porn. Is that what's going on? I mean, come on. that needs to be answered because they won't give us a Child Protective Service report. They won't give us the video's missing, video is tampered with. They won't give us the video. They could easily get the video off the cloud, the videos, and they could easily tell us what's in those Child Protective Service. And they won't give us Richard's legal documents. They won't give it to us. Why? What's in them? And now we're getting reports that this could be the case, that soldiers, children were involved in this child sex porn. That's not me. That's not me. This is what's going on. And if, so you have the border. When they had the shelter in place, did they not have enough children? Were they just desperate for children? What, is this a new thing, or has this been going on for a long time? I don't know. I don't know. A 15-6 needs to happen. But this whole grooming, this whole cultivating of this kind of criminal activity in the military is from the 44 four-star generals and admirals, y'all. I hope you know that, because if they didn't want this happening, it wouldn't be happening. The military is not a democracy. They could click heels together so quick and clean up the military, it would make your head spin if they wanted to do it. But they don't. They don't. So, to me, that is proof enough, after hearing so many stories, so many terrible stories, that our 44 four-star generals are not defending us. They're not defending the Constitution. They are working for foreign and domestic enemies to destroy this country. And that means to destroy our military. That means to destroy our volunteer sons and daughters. And to destroy the land, to destroy animals, to destroy whatever it takes, other nations, other countries. And so they are, they've betrayed us, they're treasonous, or they're criminals, they've committed crimes against humanity, and war crimes, and much more. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just so bad. And how much of it are we going to take? How much are we going to when are we going to get our courage? When are we going to plug into our virtues? When are we going to be afraid enough of God? Who cares about anybody else? So, we'll see. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. And I really would love for you, be very grateful for you to share over and over again that Trump little TikTok. It hits harder than what you think. It hits very, very hard, because the election is coming up. This is a missing soldier. Let's see what they're made out of. They just always talk. Let's see what they're made out of. Right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.